So, one way or another, Krishna will attract us, either through his beauty or through his organization, his penal system. That's the way the government does it too. The government gives scholarships and awards and grants to encourage you to do the right thing, right? But if you don't, then they have prisons, penitentiaries, different kinds of punishments, fines, so many things. One way or another, they want you to become a good citizen. So, we should also become good human beings, good citizens, good spirit souls, and give up our evil ways and become a nice devotee of Krishna. Live a very pious life, very happy life, free from sinful activities. So how can you do that? You may ask, well, yes, that sounds good. I'd like to give up my bad habits, but it's not easy. The spirit's willing, but the flesh is weak, and all these cliches. We give you the solution if you'll take it. Associate with the devotees. That's all you have to do. Just give up the other association and come and associate with devotees, and you'll see the difference. Everything will be changed. You'll no more meat eating. There's no question of eating meat. No more drinking, no more smoking. Automatically, you won't have the inclination for these things. Because in this atmosphere, it's not necessary, it's not required. And you'll be tasting such nice foodstuffs, you won't even miss eating meat. You won't even think about it again. In fact, when you think about it, you'll think, how did I ever eat those bloody dead carcasses? How could I do that? What was I, crazy? Wasn't I even thinking? That's what you'll conclude. And the other things too, you won't need them. But that's the sign of sincerity. If someone is sincere and he actually wants to get free then he has to associate with the devotees. If he prefers to keep associating with non-devotees, persons engaged in sinful activities, then birds of a feather flock together. So that is a simple process, and it's recommended in all the scriptures. Sadhu sangha, sarva shastrikoy, lavamatra sadhu sangha, sarva siddhi hoy. One gets perfection by associating with the sadhus, saintly person. It's a very great opportunity that this center is here in the middle of Amsterdam. Sinful Amsterdam. Not just that, everywhere is sinful. But, this is no exception. Where will you get shelter? And now you have this opportunity. Take advantage of it. Don't waste the human form of life just following the crowd. And you'll meet them all in Yama's court. I'll meet you in the hellish planets. We can go through some sufferings. We can go through some punishments together. Yeah, I'll meet you there. Yeah, which one are you going to? I'm going to the ocean of pus. Or I'm going to the one where, you embrace the red hot iron form of a woman and you know. I'll be there for a while. No, I'm going to the one where they pour the molten hot iron down your throat. That's a nice one. No, I'm going to the one where the dogs and the other animals, they bite you and they rip you to shreds. And even though you rip to shreds, and somehow or other you still go on living and you're just suffering. It's no joke. These things are real. It's real. These Vedic scriptures they're not just written to frighten us. It's very scientific knowledge, written by great sages who have no business just trying to unnecessarily scare us. Because everything else they say is so perfect, so scientific. In fact, they describe to the most minute atomic details everything. So why should they suddenly start exaggerating? There may have been others in different cultures who did exaggerate. And that's unfortunate that the people now have lost their faith. Because if someone says you go there and you burn eternally, well, that's not true. The Vedas don't describe eternal damnation, but they do describe that there are these sufferings. Then afterwards, you get another material body. In other words, the suffering that you get is designed to make you willing to accept whatever body you're offered. Because for a human being to have to take the body of a worm directly would be very difficult. So he gets this type of punishment, so he's willing. Yes, I'll be happy to take the body of a worm. And he's quite suitable for that. He has the right mentality. Then he gets another body, and he works his way up again, and he gets another chance at human life. And when he gets that human form of life, that's the crossroads. He can go up, or he can go down. That's his choice. So we have to decide which way we want to go. We can go up, we can go all the way back to Krishna Loka. We can go back for eternal bliss and knowledge. And it's not so difficult. Just chant Hare Krishna and take prasadam. You have to eat anyway, why not eat Krishna prasadam? You have to have some friends, why not make the devotees your friends? They're very nice people. You have to see something, some beautiful forms, why not see the beautiful form of Krishna? Learn to appreciate that. It's just a question of training. So any questions? How the different demigods gave birth to different types of species? Well, they were specifically empowered to do that. They were called Prajapatis, and they were especially empowered to do that, just as we're able to create only human beings by our offspring. And dogs can produce other dogs, and cows can produce other cows, and cockroaches can produce other cockroaches. But these particular persons in the beginning of creation, they were empowered to create many of them at the same time, all the reptile species, all the trees species at the same time. That was how the Lord decided to arrange for the creation of 8,400,000 different species. In other words, we may simplify it, just like in the Christian tradition, it's simplified that God said, let there be, this species, and then they came into being. God said, let there be this. Yes, that's true, but the Vedas go into more detail. God said, let there be, through his Prajapatis, and then they arranged it like that. So it's scientifically described. It's not so difficult to understand. When even a human mother gives birth to the baby human, also worms come out. They also are living there. So she's giving birth to, a baby human and some worms. So there's a few different species, maybe some germs also, several different germ species. So it's possible. Anything's possible by the will of the Lord. I mean, it's inconceivable. It's inconceivable how a human woman and man could combine together and produce another child, isn't it? We've just come to accept it because we see it going on. But try to think about it. How could you? We don't know what's going on. We don't have anything consciously. We're creating the next human being. We don't know how it's done. It's all inconceivable to us, isn't it? I mean, we don't know how the seed is carried there within the male semina and passed on to the female, and then how the ingredients from her body are going together, and there's a little child there. It starts off, you can't even see it. These things are all inconceivable by the grace of the Lord.